Hey guys, it's Lynn here. I am a cosplayer from Seattle. If you guys don't know me, I like to do a lot of videos on YouTube where I talk about popular topics in the world of cosplay and kind of my thoughts and opinions on taboo subjects and kind of what's going on in my own life as a cosplayer. I am here today to do a little bit of a hype video for Sakura Con 2020 because it's coming up in 2 months so soon, and I have been in the background of my life working on a lot of projects and tinkering with things and buying from websites I've never bought from before, and it was kind of an experiment this year. Last year, I started getting more and more into buying costumes online and feeling comfortable with it. And you guys saw my KDA Ahri review that I bought from Pro Cosplay. And since then, I have been kind of diving into the world of cosplay costumes online. And like most cosplayers, I started off making costumes with absolutely no knowledge of how to actually make things. I would just kind of attempt to do something and then fail and then take it apart and then attempt again until I eventually got it right. I remember the first costume I ever made was actually Katara from season 2 of Avatar: The Last Airbender in her Fire Nation outfit. And I made it just because I had bed sheets in my closet that were the same color as her outfit. And at the time I was actually watching season 2, so I was like watching it on TV and like looking in my closet and then like seeing it on the TV, and like finally I put 2 and 2 together of, oh my god, I have all the materials to make this already. So I hand sewed the entire thing because I didn't know how to use a sewing machine, and from there on out it was just this massive learning curve of how do you make costumes, how do you sew, how do things go together. So I am really excited for Sakura Con. If you guys don't know this, Sakura Con is my hometown convention. It's the very first convention I ever went to. It's in Seattle, where I am from. But more than that, it's what got me into learning how to do cosplay costumes. And also it's what got me into learning how to sew and alter my own clothing, which has been a huge help in the world of slowly becoming an adult, is how to take in my own clothes, how to hem things, how to alter clothing that doesn't fit quite correctly. And it's really awesome because if you buy a lot of cheap clothing, unfortunately sizing cheap clothing websites can be super off. And I found it to be really helpful because now I have the skills to alter whatever I need to alter from learning how to make costumes. So anyways, we're gonna get hyped up for Sakura Con in this video, and I'm gonna tell you guys all the projects that I have been working on in the background and websites I've been buying. I wanna do more formal reviews where I actually put on the costumes and show you guys like the quality of them and what they look like. So as my nose gets really itchy for some reason, when it's really cold here in Washington, I don't know why, but like my nose runs and then my nose is itchy, and it's slowly starting to turn into springtime here, so it's getting sunnier. I even saw some cherry blossoms are like already blooming around this time of year. It seems really early. But I have like really bad pollen allergies, so I feel my nose and like my sinuses slowly start to get really itchy around this time of year. Okay, so let's get on to this video. I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I decided to buy online this year. And it's been very different because the past 2 years of going to conventions, I have slowly started just buying my costumes instead of making them. And I think it has to do with having more disposable income, having more options. There's so many different websites and places you can buy online now. I feel like when I started doing cosplay at the age of 15, the online websites were really expensive and there was very limited options. So it's kind of like, unless you wanted to cosplay from a really popular show at that time, chances were very slim that you would find something that not only was from the show you wanted, but it also looked good and it also had the right size for your body. It was kind of like all the stars had to align in order to buy online. And not only that, it was a little more on the sketchy side. I felt like there were so many websites that just took your money and kind of scammed you. So it's gotten much better since then. You can even buy cosplay costumes on Amazon now, and there's free shipping and like next day shipping. It's crazy, but it's really awesome. It gives a lot of people an opportunity to cosplay who either don't have the skills or the time to make their costumes. And I'm kind of falling into the latter category where I really do like to create And I do a lot of sketches for costume designs, and I write down tons of notes, and I have like whole Pinterest boards full of ideas of things. But in the end, my free time is very, very limited, pretty much to my evenings and weekends. And so taking on an entire costume is not really what I want for my life at this moment, but I still want to cosplay. So I have decided to kind of buy from a couple different websites to see what results I was going to get, and then I could share them with you guys so you guys can know if these sites are legitimate or not. So in the previous videos that you guys saw, I did a review of procosplay.com where I bought KDA Ahri, and then for Christmas, I actually went on there and bought my husband a Leon from Resident Evil 2 remake costume, and I am so impressed by the quality of it. When we got it in the mail, it was perfect. Like, it looked amazing. And it's one of those costumes where they really can't cheap out on it because there's so many layers. So if you guys have played Resident Evil 2, the remake, Leon has a full police uniform and he has so many, like, I don't know what you call them, but like straps and things on his like knees and elbows and like a whole chest plate and all this stuff. And there's so many layers. So if you cheap out on that type of costume, it just looks really fakey and it doesn't look good. But they really did an awesome job. Like, it looks like a real police uniform. It looks incredible. So I was very impressed with that. So since I've been having better and better experiences, it's kind of made me want to branch out and try more websites. So I'm going to tell you guys what I actually got that I'll be wearing at Sakura Con 2020. So on Friday of Sakura Con, I'm wearing my easier costume and I'll be pairing up with my spouse to go as Claire Redfield. So I'll be Claire and he'll be Leon. And I'm actually really excited because this is such a simple costume for me, but I think it's really recognizable. So I like that pairing of having something that is very simple and easy to wear and comfier, but it's a very recognizable character. I think this is kind of a hard pairing to find sometime because you want to go for the comfy, but you also want people to know who you are. And then with my spouse, this is actually his very first time cosplaying, so I'm really excited for us to have this like bonding experience together. Resident Evil 2 is one of our very favorite video games, and we have played through recently. Actually, we just completed Claire's story and we've completed the whole game now. And it's been like really fun, kind of like a little bit of a throwback to like our childhood when Resident Evil was coming out and we were kids that played it. So it's just been fun. It's been nostalgic. So let me tell you guys though, it's so bad. The costume that I bought for this, I decided to take a chance and buy a cosplay costume off of Amazon. And I'm just going to tell you guys my rating of it was 2 out of 10 stars. It was a complete disaster. So I bought this costume from a seller called Pana Club. I don't really know. It's P-A-N-I and then club. And I didn't actually go to their page until after I bought it, but they sell a lot of costumes on there. However, this costume, the picture looked really, really good. It had several features that I was actually looking for in a Claire costume. The jacket was dark colored. It didn't look like bright, fakey pleather. It looked like a darker red, kind of like grungy look, which is what I was trying to go for. And it also came with the tank top that goes under it, and then the belt and the side gun holster that goes on your hip. Obviously, when you wear this costume, you just wear a pair of jeans with it. So I really like this costume because, again, really easy, and wearing jeans, super comfy, and it's just pleather jacket and a tank top. So, you know, really easy to wear all day. Getting this in the mail, though, was very, very disappointing because as soon as I took the jacket out, I realized the back, the heat stamped design. So on the back of the jacket where it says Made in Heaven, which is her iconic jacket, you know, Chris's jacket that she's borrowing or was like given as a gift, the back of it was barely noticeable. The way they had heat stamped it only made it slightly indented and with a slight shine, but other than that, there was no stain or paint over the top of it. So if you're holding it up in a really bright light, you can slightly see that shine, but in a darker place, you can't even see it at all. It's like invisible. So I was really disappointed with that, but then I thought, okay, you know, whatever, I can make this work. And then the gun holster issue. So the tactical belt and the side gun holster are two pieces that actually connect together. You put the leather side gun holster into the strap of the tactical belt, and then you can like adjust the thigh parts, but for some reason they made it so you can't adjust the tactical belt. So this is the weird part. I bought a women's medium in this costume, and I'm typically a woman's size small on top and a medium on bottom. So I was kind of interested to see how this was gonna fit, and the jacket was almost too big on me, but then the gun holster and the tactical belt were way too small. And at first I was like, okay, this can't be right. Like something's off. I'm putting this on incorrectly. And holding them up, you could actually see that the belt was like very, very small and the jacket was big. So they were expecting someone who has a very big upper body but a very small lower body. Like it just didn't make sense physically for the human body to wear this. So I don't know if they sent me like the wrong belt on accident, or if this is like a one size fits all belt. So no matter what size you get, they're only changing the size of the jacket and tank top, but like the belt will stay the same. But I was really disappointed because that is a very integral part of her outfit. So what I ended up having to do is actually go on Amazon and buy separately a real tactical belt and a real thigh-high holster. And I'm really glad I did because they look actually much better than the fake leather one I got. And I was able to just detach the pouches on her tactical belt and then add them to the real tactical belt. So I will do a video later where I actually show you guys like what everything looks like. For the jacket, the design on the back of it, I actually took just some thin, cheap acrylic paint and I just painted over the heat pressed design. So all it does is just create a little bit of depth and a little bit of a shadow in it. So when you look at it, you can actually see the design. And I tried to choose a color that was pretty similar to the red color of the jacket, so it doesn't look like a big fake painted on design. It looks kind of just like a darker version of that pleather. So again, 2 out of 10, don't buy from this Amazon seller. It was just a bad experience, and I should have known because I actually went to their shop later on and looked through the other costumes they sold, and it was very clear in the other costumes pictures that they were very low quality. It was just for some reason the Claire outfit looked higher quality than everything else. I should have looked through the other ones and kind of put 2 and 2 together. Okay, so the next costume that I'm going to be doing is Star Guardian Ahri from League of Legends, and I will be doing her on Saturday. So this is kind of what I do every year, which is the more complicated costume I have, I wear on Saturday, and then Friday, the first day of the convention, I just do like my more simplistic one. And I do this because Friday at the convention is also the same day that I check into my hotel and get all my luggage out of my car and typically like run around. It's a little more frenzied. So I want to be a little more comfy as I'm doing all that stuff. And then Saturday, since I'm already like getting ready in my hotel that morning and doing my makeup there and I have all my supplies and everything, it's more chill. I don't really mind spending more time doing like makeup, wig, costume stuff, and I'm already in downtown Seattle, so there's no issue of getting from point A to point B. So Star Guardian Ahri was one that I have been really, really excited about for a long time because it's my very first magical girl costume. I've never done a magical girl before. And I think I want to do a video later on where I talk a little bit about why I haven't done one before and what this really means to me. So watch for a video about that later. I will do one. But Star Guardian Ahri was one that I have wanted to do for close to a year now. So pretty much since the last convention, I kind of made up my mind this was going to be my next one. And I actually ended up buying her costume from, I think it's called Mike Costumes. It's MIC Costumes. I've also heard Mice Costumes and Meek Costumes. So I'm not really sure how you pronounce it, but it was a website I had heard a lot about. And I really wanted to buy for myself and see what I thought of the costume quality. The biggest thing for me with magical girls is, number one, it needs to be colorful and it needs to be very feminine. I think with the magical girl vibe, it just needs to be vibrant and it needs to be like energetic. They usually look really pretty also. So the other part of the costume is that it needs to have a very full skirt that is the right length. So when you do a magical girl, if the skirt is slightly too long, it just doesn't look quite right. And if it doesn't puff out enough, it just doesn't have that little magical quality about it. So of course you can wear like petticoats and things with it, but her skirt is very iconic because it has lace on the bottom and then the top is tulle. And the very top layer has little sparkly stars that are gold. So in the cheaper costumes that I had seen on other websites, what I really didn't like was their skirt fabric. They had actually printed the stars on. So it was like the skirt itself, the fabric, actually had designs of stars, and so it just looked really flat and one-dimensional. So when I wanted to buy her costume, I was like, I'm only buying from a website that actually has stars added on as like little embellishments. Like it has to be a different layer of stars. I'm not going to buy something that has printed stars because they just never look great. So when I saw MIC costumes and their version actually had little glittered gold stars, almost like sparkles that were sprinkled on top of the tulle, I thought that is exactly what I want. That is exactly the vibe that I'm going for, that sparkly magical girl aesthetic. So I am gonna give this costume 8 out of 10. I was so happy when I bought it. And not only did it fit, but it looked really nice. It was a little bit wrinkled when I got it, which is, it's normal. I mean, it has a lot of tulle and a lot of cotton and satin, and those things do get wrinkled when they get sent in the mail. The thigh-high stockings of her costume are really, really integral to the costume. And I am so glad to say that they actually fit where they were supposed to. I was really nervous buying this costume. I was going to run into the same issue as KDA Ahri, which is the costume was made for a very short person. So when I put it on, I'm 5'6", and when you put on thigh-high stockings and they barely come above your knee, it just doesn't look right. They have to come up to your thigh. So Star Guardian Ahri, I was really excited that they actually came up to my thigh. They look good and they fit right. So putting together the entire costume, the only thing that I altered on this costume was the waist of the top. So in her outfit, it comes with a skirt, and then it comes with a little overlaid skirt that you actually tie on behind you, and then it comes with the top that's like spandex with like a little bustier top, and I think it's zippered in the back. The only thing about this costume was that the waist just didn't fit exactly right. So a really important part of having that kind of like Sailor Moon magical girl vibe is that your costume needs to fit you very well in the bust and waist. If it comes off looking loose or kind of baggy, it just doesn't have the right look to it. It needs to be very form-fitted in the top. So what I ended up doing is just taking it in maybe like 2 inches in the waist, just so it would fit like very, very correctly and it would overlay the skirt without looking kind of like frumpy. So again, 8 out of 10, had a really, really good experience. I really recommend you guys buying from that website because I've heard other people have also had very good experiences on it. And I'm very impressed with their use of fabrics that are very bright colored and, you know, adding extra layers on instead of having one layer that everything is like printed on, because those types of costumes, they just look so flat. They just look like a one-dimensional thing. So with Star Guardian Ahri, I also made the commitment that I wanted to wear the full 9 tails. So I started doing a lot of research about where could I buy these from. I thought back to when I bought my Ahri tail from last year. I have a big white fluffy one that I actually had commissioned on Etsy, and I bought it from Moki's Den, which is Mowyks Den, and she is from Germany, I believe, and she does custom tails. So you can buy tails in almost any color and any style, from hanging and posable, upright and posable. So it's kind of cool. She does so many. But for having a single tail was pretty good priced already. I think I spent probably between $80 and $100 on it. So having 9 tails was kind of out of the question because it was out of my budget. So if you have the money, go ahead and get it commissioned because I bet it would look even better. But for me, I had a budget in my head of how much I wanted to spend. And so I started looking around online for tails. And this is funny because I actually found the website Eeeek Cosplay, and I ended up buying a 9 tails from that website. So just to give you guys a brief overview of how that went, I am going to give this website 9 out of 10. And this is really funny because this is actually the website I thought I was going to have the worst experience on, because I have heard so many mixed reviews about Eeeek Cosplay. I've heard a lot of 10-star reviews saying their costume was awesome, they loved it, it was fitted, and I honestly kind of thought all these reviews were like fake or they were being sponsored to say this, because Eeeek Cosplay is very weird. Some of their costumes only have one picture, so you don't really know what you're getting. And I don't know, the website itself just seems kind of sketchy sometimes. But then I also saw tons of reviews of people saying that the quality was horrible, the size was not right, things were missing from their costumes or didn't look like the pictures. So when I ordered this tail, I was thinking, I don't know what I'm about to get. Like, who even knows? This might be a single tail and maybe they took a picture of 9 tails, or maybe it's gonna be a totally different color than the picture and I'll be disappointed. When I bought the 9 tails, the Star Guardian Ahri 9 tails are kind of this, I would say almost a beige blonde kind of tails. And they kind of have a pinkish red, almost like magenta edges. So they kind of flow from one color into the other. And that's what I was going for. I had seen many, many tails online that were like bright yellow and bright pink, or beige and dark red. Like, they just weren't the right combination of colors. So when I got this in the mail, I was really, really pleased with how it looked. As soon as I got the box, I was like, oh my gosh, this box is massive. And I actually had to pick it up from the UPS drop-off because I wasn't home. And when I saw online how much it weighed, I was thinking, oh my God, there's no way I can wear this on my back, because it said it was 8 pounds. And I'm thinking 8 pounds of tails, that's so heavy. So anyways, go to pick it up, bring it home, take it out of the box, immediately noticed the fabric was incredible. So the fake fur fabric was very long and very fluffy, which is exactly what I wanted to go for, with like this big fluffy kind of like foxtail. It was the exact color I thought it was gonna be, and it was actually even bigger in person than I imagined. So the length of it is big enough where I can actually have it stick upright behind me, and it actually comes out like around my head, so almost all the way up here from my waist. And it comes with the full 9 tails, and they are all adjustable and posable, and they are upright. So it's really cool because you can actually have it like in the artwork or in the game where her tails kind of go in like a little heart behind her. You can actually do that with the tails. You can also adjust it, so if you're going to be sitting a lot, you can have them come out and around you, or you can have them all going behind or all upright, like whatever you want to do for photos. So putting on the tail, I noticed that it didn't actually come with a belt. It came with like a white sash, and you would just tie the sash in a bow. And what's funny is even just doing that felt really secure. But I am a total scaredy cat when it comes to accessories falling apart on me. So I ended up creating a nylon belt. So I just went to Joann's, bought a bunch of that 4-inch nylon material and a buckle belt, and took it home, sewed a belt that fit me nice and tight in the waist. So what I can actually do is I can buckle it under my shirt, and the shirt just comes down over the top. So it's actually perfect where the shirt and the skirt meet is a little bit higher up on the waist. I think it's like more up here. So I can actually buckle it right under the shirt so you can't even see it. And the fact that the tails are so big and puffy behind you, it kind of covers up the fact they're coming out from the shirt. So again, I will do reviews where I show you guys me wearing this in person so you can actually see like what the quality looks like and decide for yourself if this might be something you want to buy. But yes, I had such a good experience. I was so pleasantly surprised. So even though my Claire outfit was not what I expected it to be, and I was very disappointed, like honestly, I probably should have just returned it and bought a different one, but I just felt like I was already in too deep, and you know, it was easier for me to just alter the jacket than have to send everything back in a box and get refunded. But the Star Guardian costume totally made up for it. So anyways, you guys, I'm not going to blabber on any longer here. I'm going to give you guys a break from my voice, but I do want to say that I will see you guys at Sakura Con. If you see me as Claire and Leon on Friday, please come say hello and grab a picture. It's going to be a really fun time. And on Saturday, I'll actually be at the League of Legends photo shoot, which is Saturday at 1 o'clock, I think. Don't trust me. Go to the Facebook group or the events page. But I will be there in my Star Guardian Ahri, and it's actually been my first time going to a League of Legends meetup, so I'm really interested to see what is going to be trending this year and what everyone's going to be wearing, and it'll be really interesting to just meet other people. So anyways, I'll be back again to do some more videos, guys. I hope this has hyped you up a little bit and you go out there and you're like making your costumes, getting all creative, and I'll see you guys next time, or I'll see you at the convention. Bye guys, and have a good night.